Hi guys, so I have been away for almost 8 months. The last update I gave you was around here. I was at my peak equity and I said that I'll not trade anymore until I get the payout. But I did, and what happened? This happened. I failed both of those accounts. This was the 125k account that was scaled from 100k, and this was the account from which I got 12 payouts, and this was the 200k account. I breached max drawdowns on 25th of October. After that, I purchased two 200k challenges and failed them as well. I'll show you. Here I breached max drawdowns of both of those funded accounts, and here I bought two 200k challenges and failed them in a few days, I think, because I was very confident and I took more loss than I should have. Here are those two 200k accounts that I bought after I failed these two funded accounts and failed them, and after that I purchased 100k and another 100k and a 200k, then merged them on, yeah, in February I merged them into a 400k account, and since then from that 400k account I've got four payouts, and the fifth trading cycle is going on right now, and in which I am in drawdown of over 2%. I have received 22 payouts and I have passed 5 FTMO challenges out of the 13 challenges that I have paid for since 2022. So it's been 4 years. In 4 years, I have bought 13 challenges with FTMO, passed 5 of them, most recently starting from 2024, and up till now, I have got 22 payouts. Here is the payout that I got that I showed you in the last update, and after that I was in a drawdown. I breached two more 200k challenges, passed again a 100k challenge, got a refund and got a payout. Meanwhile, I purchased another 100k and a 200k challenge, passed them as well. And after that, for all those three accounts, two 100k accounts and one 200k accounts, little payouts, and with them I got the refunds. And since then, I have merged them and got four payouts. Now, this is the fifth trading cycle. And another update about FTMO is that they have closed swing trading accounts for above 200k, and I was among those people who had already swing accounts and max allocations, and our accounts were changed from FTMO swing to FTMO standard, so now we cannot hold trades over the weekend. So these are the 22 payouts. If you want to pause the screen or anything, these are my certificates. Now here is the FTMO account. In current trading cycle, I have 7 days remaining before I can claim a payout, but I am in almost 2.1% drawdown. So you might be wondering, how did I get out of this brutal drawdown? So here is the thing. People share their trading histories selectively. And by selectively, I mean people only share the screenshots of their wins and not their complete trading history. So here is the thing. Most of the swing traders like me stay in drawdown for nearly half or over half a year. Actually, it has been the first year in the past 5 or 6 years that I have had a drawdown in only 3 months. So this is how I track my progress. I track my progress with pips, because to know about your strategy and to know the best setups and best situations or circumstances about your strategy or trades, you need to know your stats in pips, not in dollar amount, because the dollar amount becomes irrelevant. Once you figure out your edge, you assign different risk sizes to different playbooks or different setups and different days, even different hours. So by collecting this data of almost 500 trades over the period of 500 trades, I have a risk to reward ratio of almost 1 to 3. This is the average R to R, not the actual. My best trade in pips has been a 2000 pips trade, and my worst has been a 500 pips trade that I lost. I have a win rate of 36%. This is a completely personal preference, whether you like a high win rate with a low risk to reward. What you see here in dollar amount, the best or the worst trade, is because of my position sizing among my setups. The better a setup is, the more risk I take on that trade. So far, as you have seen that I have purchased 13 challenges. Among those, I have passed 5 and failed 8 with a 38% win rate on FTMO. So this is my whole FTMO record. As you can see, I have spent $8,800. I have received payout of 37,000, and I have received 37,671 and some change in payouts with nearly $3,000 of refunds. So my net profit is above 31,000. Even in prop trading, I have a low win rate but high risk to reward. So now I am running this 400k account and I haven't breached it yet, so we will see. And this is my data, and from this data I know that my edge lies in trading gold, mostly going long. As you can see here, I have made over 7,000 pips just by buying gold and almost 1,600 pips by selling. The trades that I enter on Friday or on Monday are the best, give me higher risk to reward. So this is my gain over time in pips. Here was the drawdown that ended, and since then my equity curve has been going upward rapidly. I just want to prove that you can keep your trading history public and you can trade and you can share your knowledge without selling anything. I'll create weekly videos. So I'm recording it on Monday morning, 1 a.m., 27th of April. I'm in a trade already. I've gone long on gold before the market close on my personal account, but I could not open this trade on my FTMO account because, like I said, I cannot hold trades over the weekend. So I'll wait for the Monday market open and we'll see if I can get an entry here on FTMO account. First thing first, both of these moving averages are exponential moving averages. The black is 10 EMA and blue is 21 EMA. I find my trades in two ways. If I want to trade intraday, I switch to 1 hour chart only and find repeating patterns in sessions. Otherwise, I look for a corrective structure on 4 hour or on daily. But the same thing in this case, even on daily or weekly or 4 hour, I look for repeating patterns, repeating price action. The price action repeats itself, and if you can understand this emerging price action theory, you can make a lot of profit, especially if you are a swing trader. I will give you some examples. Look at here. Do you see this pattern? Let's go over here and now look at this pattern. Do you see the resemblance here and here? I'm not showing you anything ridiculous. It actually works. If you can time your entry, you can benefit from it. It works again and again on daily chart. You can remember this date and go to my FX book and check these trades. So anything that I am showing you here is not out of thin air. Another thing here, if you look at this and if you look at this, do you see any resemblance here and here? This is 30th April 2025. And then again on 24th of October 2025. So you can tally these dates from my FX book. So anything that I am showing you is not out of thin air or a bluff. These are actual real trades. So I trade like this. This is simply my playbook. These are the best trades that I have taken in the past 2 years. I have a TradingView Premium in which I have created a separate layout as my journal where I journal my trades. Anyways, for this trade, why I am trading this or why I have entered in this trade. So do you see this green box is Asian session, this blue box is London session, and this red box is New York session. The New York session closes, and after that there are 4 1-hour candles or 1 4-hour candle. That is the core or basis of my strategy. I have been trading or observing or journaling post New York session market on gold. So let me tell you why I am in this trade. Because every time after a sharp pullback on higher time frame on gold, when there is a correction or a basic range, when this range wants to break out, this structure appears or this type of price action appears. Now, what do I mean by this price action or this type of price action? New York makes the high of the day, and after the New York session is closed, the price starts pulling back. And when it pulls back, you can get an entry long and you can get almost 5 to 10 hours in this trade if it works. And let me show you this same pattern that I have traded again and again and again here, 2000 pips. You can check the date of this trade from my FX book, March 30, 2026. Then both of these, this pattern and this pattern, are the variations of that setup. Now, here is the exact setup that I've traded this setup and closed it with 1100 pips. Before that, I traded the same setup on 22 December 2025, and you can see that I closed it with 1500 pips. But the main point and thing is, here was a structure and it broke out with this setup. This was a corrective structure and it broke out with this same setup here, here, again here, and now I am betting on it again that it will go up. So I have my stop right below New York session lows because nobody knows where the market will go when it opens. It could gap up, it could gap down, which is why I had a wide stop for this trade, 200 pips. So I have a 200 pip stop. If it wasn't a weekend, my stop would be tighter. Now about my target. These corrective structures work like rubber bands. Every corrective structure works like a rubber band, even if we start from 2020. So in my emerging price action theory, there is no such thing as a crash. That buzzword that everybody likes to use. Nothing in market or in natural market cycle crashes. Check this out. It's a 2400 pips correction. Check the breakout. It was more than 2400 pips. So this was the high of the range and this was the low of the range, right? 4500 pips. When it broke out, it easily made 4500 pips. You will keep seeing and observing this thing on every time frame above 1 hour time frame, because I don't go or trade below 1 hour time frame. If I take this as the structure high and this as the range or structure low, it makes 2200 pips. And if I go above to 2200 pips, it goes to 5110. So my ideal target would be 5110 or above 5110, but I like to be more optimistic, and I like my trades to work quickly, either in my favor or against me, but I want to work them quickly because I don't like to be anxious and distressed about my trade going positive and negative or moving around in a certain range after entering. I don't like ranges. I like the breakouts of the ranges. So I'll meet you when the market opens and when I have an update. So both of my positions were closed on SL as the market opened with a gap down that I was talking about, and it went straight through my stop loss, and still this trade idea is valid, so I re-entered. Plus I have also entered in this trade on my FTMO funded account, as you can see. So here the same thing, 200 pips stop, 5100 target, but we will see how long can I hold this trade, and I'll let you guys know when there is an update. Back with an update. I closed the trade as soon as I saw it going 100 pips in negative. I closed it. I have a rule of half mental stop, whatever my physical stop is, and I don't see my trades go right in profit. I want to see how this candle closes and how Asia opens, because the next candle will be Asia open. So I want to see how the Asia opens, and we will see if I can find an entry or I think I should enter. I'll let you guys know when there is an update. Another update, I entered again, but the price is falling very quickly on lower time frames, which means it could break this area and make this whole setup invalid. So I was doubtful about this huge gap down and then follow up of the same red candles, or the price kept moving downwards. But let's see what happens. So you must know this before starting trading, that everything is uncertain. You have to make friends with uncertainty. You cannot just full retard mode in markets with real money. I'll let you guys know when there is an update. So I have entered again. I think it will be fine now, hopefully, which is why I have placed stop below this low. Now I'm just going to leave it and I'm going to sleep. So during that time, if the stop hits, no problem. When I wake up, whatever happens, I'll update you. Hi, so I'm back with an update. Price moved in my favor, fortunately, for around 2 hours, as I have a 250 pips stop and the price moved around 500 pips, so it moved 2 hours in my favor, and now I will wait for a low on 1 hour time frame to be formed so that I can trail my stop. So now I have my stops at break even on both accounts, and on my personal account I have added positions. Like I said, if I see a good setup, I risk more money on that setup, and we will see what happens during the New York session. I hope that during New York session it comes back and tests this area and then shoots up. We will see what happens and I'll let you guys know. Hi, so I have an update. My trades were closed on break even and price is moving very quickly towards these lows, and there is a fair chance that it could go down. So I'll wait and I'll see if I can find an opportunity. So this is another problem that I keep coming back to, that price moving in my favor for 2 hours and then coming back and hitting my break even stop. I have an update. I took a short here 46.72 on the open of last 4-hour candle of the day, because this structure, it wants to go lower now. I don't think that it wants to go any higher now, because the way it's forming this wedge and also the confluence of EMA 21 and 10, it seems to me that it's going to do something like this. Instead of breaking higher, it will break lower here. Instead of going here, I think it should go lower. Now, why did I open and then close the position? It's because there was a large gap here on 4 hour. So this was the gap. I want it to fill this gap and we will see. I want an entry where I can at least have a stop above this 4-hour candle. I want an entry something like here. So we will see when there is an update and I'll let you guys know. I'm sure by now you might be wondering, how do I make money consistently when I do these silly and stupid mistakes? Well, the thing is, the moment I signed up for this career, I knew that I'll have to deal with these things. Even if you meet a genuine trader who has been trading for 2 or 3 or 4 decades even they admit to make such mistakes. If someone is good at entries, he will be bad at exits. If someone is good at exits, he will be bad at entries. So different people have different ways to deal with this trading stress or trading anxiety. I have my own ways. I would like to take a shower or spend time with my spouse or kids and maybe go for a walk or a long run or go to my friend for a cup of tea. That is how I manage my trading stress basically. I just wanted to add this thing. So you are not alone who makes these mistakes repeatedly. Every professional trader makes mistakes. This is the most beautiful thing about trading. You learn from your mistakes, right? And it's okay to make mistakes. That is it for now. But when I have an update, I'll let you guys know. So I'm back with an update. I had an alarm set in the morning. Like last night, I said that I wanted to revisit this area or fill this gap and then it will break below. So it did. When the market opened, I woke up and I opened a short position and I set the stop loss above the last New York session, and my take profit is at the low of this leg. So 4,400 and something. Now this is almost in 700 pips profit. So I like to keep it on daily chart. Here are the trades on my trading platforms. This is FTMO 400k funded account and this is my personal account. And you might be wondering why I have my trade watch off, because in trades like this, I like to keep my PNL box off because I don't want to get distracted by watching my PNL swings, which is why I turned it off. I might be holding this trade for 2 or 3 days or maybe by the end of this week until Friday, because after the Friday I cannot hold this trade on my funded account. So that is it. Like I said last night, the losses don't bother you after you have spent so much time in markets. The thing is, once you go on tilt or start taking losses, or once you go on a losing streak, and once everything starts going to shit like it has been going down for me for the past couple of days or 2 weeks, every trade going to break even or closing on stop loss, you have to spend your time with your family and your kids or your friends, not the friends that enjoy your company just because you have money or just because you like to spend on their expensive habits. After spending 14 years alone in one room in front of the markets, I have realized that money is important, yeah, but relationships are, and this life is more important. Another thing that I forgot to mention about this structure was this. If you look at this leg, if you check this bar pattern, you will see that this is almost identical to this bar pattern. And this is what I was relying on when I said that it seems to me that it is going to break down and break down harder. So this is it, and I'll let you guys know when there is more update. This is Wednesday 29th. So it's been 2 days since I opened this position and it has gone almost 1300 pips in profit. For now, I'm just waiting for the Fed interest rate decision and I hope that it moves further below. Here are the current running PNLs on both of my accounts. So we will see what happens tonight at Fed interest rate decision, and I'll let you guys know when there is an update. I have closed those trades after I didn't see any reaction after Fed interest rate decision and press conference. This is my personal account and this is FTMO funded account. This is my funded account. I can claim my reward after 4 days. So on Monday, I can claim the reward for this account. So most of my profits come from 1 or 2 home runs, and for the rest of the time, I stay in drawdown like I mentioned in the intro of this video. What I am about to tell you, you have to consider this as a takeaway from this video. If you go and check my trading history, you will see that I have been in drawdown for most of the time. On every page, I have been mostly in drawdowns, then 1 or 2 good trades, and then once in a while a home run. So I would say that I am a home run trader. But to build this much resilience, to bear with 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, at one point I had 16 losses in a row. So can you spend your time normally, or can you remain sane after taking 16 losses in a row and still stick to your strategy and your trading rules and everything? So to build this much mental resilience, you need years of practice. And what I mean by practice is real and live trading, not demo trading, not paper trading, not back testing, forward testing by establishing rules, specific instruments, specific time of the day, specific direction. So when you zoom so much in a strategy, you can also choose a side. You can also pick a side. Like I am good at buying and I'm not embarrassed to admit it because that is where my edge lies. So why would I be ashamed of my edge, right? But the main thing is you have to be resilient and you have to bear with your drawdowns. If you can resist drawdowns, you can be a home run trader. Am I a perfect trader? No, I am not. I am very shit at exits. As you know, here you can see that my entry accuracy was 93%, but my exit accuracy was 84.5%. And to this exit accuracy, I would give a B. This trade. In this trade, the price went almost 500 pips in my favor, and yet I closed it with 20 pips. Shit exit. Here 540 pips. The price went in 540 pips in my favor and I closed it with 8 pips at break even. Here went almost 1.5 hour in my favor and came back and I closed it in negative. Here the price went 584 pips in my favor and yet I closed the trade when it came back with 56 pips. And you can see this pattern all over my trading history. You cannot solve a problem on paper. You can only learn to solve a problem by practice, and which is why I always recommend live trading, even with a small account. If you can afford to buy a 100k challenge from a prop firm, definitely you can deposit $500 into a broker, trade with minimum size 0.01. So you can trade with fixed size for a number of trades or a period, say 3 months, 6 months, a year, collect data and then refine your edge, find your edge by looking into your MAE and MFE, your best days, your best or your risk of ruin and everything, your long side potential versus your short side potential. You will see everything if you analyze your data correctly. But in the first place, you need to execute one strategy for at least 3 months, 6 months, a year or maybe more just to collect this data. And then you refine your edge when you grade your setups, small wins, small losses, huge wins, small losses and then a home run. So I am a home run trader, but then again you have to spend years before you can master your emotional endurance to bear with those drawdowns. Whenever I start a new trading cycle on my FTMO account, I immediately go into 1 or 2 or 3, even sometimes 5% drawdown. But all those losses are small. I don't push limits. I don't risk 4% for a day just to avoid a max daily drawdown, because these small bumps or losses don't mean anything to me, and that is what you need to learn. Even until last week, I was sure that this month is going to be in red or in drawdown, and yet at the end I got a home run. This is how your life works. And this is the takeaway that I want you to get from this video. So drawdown is a universal fact. Anything that has born in all its growth period or on its growth curve, it will have periods of drawdown. There are two universal facts about a growth curve. Every growth curve has drawdowns, and every growth curve eventually goes back to zero or in negative, which means everything that has been born or that has been created will go to shit. It will die, or it will be lost, or however you would like to describe this phenomena on specific things. This is the thing that I want you to take away from this video. And from next week, you will see me putting size, because I'm gonna deposit more money into this account. And for 2 years, I have gained so much confidence trading publicly by keeping my trading history public, but with a small amount. But now I would like to build my confidence by trading bigger in public, and I'll do these weekly videos every week. It's very easier for me to record a trading recap at the end of every week, but by showing you only the recap, I would not be able to describe my emotional endurance or the reality behind trading, because it's easier to draw lines or projections on TradingView and call it live trading. So I'll do these weekly videos containing my trading recap and some trading wisdom that I have gained over years. I cannot create brain rot content of 10 things you should avoid in order to do this, or 5 things I wish I had known 10 years ago. Only if I had known this 10 years, say. That is it for this video. You can keep track of my trading history by visiting my FX book, and I'll see you guys on the next weekend with a new trading recap. I'll claim this reward on Monday, and we will see what happens, and I'll update you guys about this in the next video. Until then, keep struggling and keep going through drawdowns happily.